Good morning, pre-calc. So today we're going to continue on with our sum and difference identities, and this time we're going to go ahead and check out tangent, which is the only one we didn't go over yesterday, which are these two guys. As you can see, they're a little bit more complicated looking, but they're not too bad as long as you're pretty solid with getting a common denominator and also using that keep, change, flip when you're dividing two fractions. So let's check out number 5. We're going to jump right in. So the first thing I would like you to do is the same thing we did on 3 and 4 yesterday, which is go ahead and if you have radians, it's just a little bit easier to break it up when you have degrees. So we're going to take tangent of 13 pi over 12, and we're going to change that 13 pi over 12 into degrees by just multiplying it by 180 over pi. So I'm going to do, the pi's will cancel, and then I'm going to do 13 times 180, divide that by 12. So this guy is actually equivalent to the tangent of 195 degrees. Okay, so we got to think about two things that either add or subtract to get us to 195. What I'm thinking, if we look at our unit circle, maybe 150 plus 45 will give us 195, right? So let's rewrite this one more time as the tangent of 150 plus 45. And now the idea for this guy is the same as what we did yesterday, but now our formula looks a little different. We're going to use this formula because we broke it up with addition, right? And so my A value is 150, my B value is 45. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it like this. I'm going to have the tangent of 150, right, plus the tangent of 45 all over 1 minus the tangent of 150 times the tangent of 45. So I should have had something like that. I just plugged in my A and B values. And now we actually have to figure out what these guys are. So remember, with tangent, we have to be a little bit more clever. We have to do sine over cosine. You can see over here I kind of have some tangents listed from previous work. So we need to figure out the tangent of 150. So that's going to be 1 over negative square root of 3, which we have to rationalize, and looks like we get negative square root of 3 over 3. So there's our tangent of 150. So negative square root of 3 over 3. And then the tangent of 45 is just going to be root 2 over root 2, which is 1. So anywhere I see tangent 150, I'm going to replace it with negative root 3 over root 3. Anywhere I see the tangent of 45, I'm just going to replace it with a 1. Right? So I was able to do something like that. Okay, so here is where our common denominator work is really important here. So we got to do a few different things. First off, up top, we have two separate terms, so I'm going to rewrite these guys. I'm going to rewrite that 1 as 3 over 3 to get a common denominator. And down below, I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be 3 over 3, and then it's going to be minus a negative, so that's going to be a plus, and that's just going to be root 3 over 3. So we're going to have something like this. Up top, I'm going to have negative square root of 3 plus 3 over 3. It's really tempting to think you can cancel stuff out, but because of that plus, we are unable to. All right, so we got something like that right there. All right. And then what we can do after this is we have two fractions that are being divided. We can do a little keep, change, flip. So I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to do negative square root of 3 plus 3 over 3. And then we're going to multiply 3 over 3 plus the square root of 3. So remember, all I did was keep, change, flip there. I kept this guy. I changed that division to multiplication, and I flipped this. The nice thing is those 3's will cancel, and we're just going to have negative square root of 3 plus 3 over 3 plus square root of 3. Very tempting to go ahead and cancel these guys, but remember, they are not the exact same thing. Only if this guy was positive, we'd be able to cancel them. So what I have to do instead is I have to rationalize this. And the way I rationalize is I multiply both the top and the bottom, right, by 3 minus the square root of 3, which is, remember, that's just our conjugate, which is what we use to get rid of a binomial with a radical in it in our denominator. Right? So we got two FOILs we're going to have to do. I'll do a little side work over here. That top guy, let's do it together, is going to look something like this. I'm going to have negative 3 square root of 3, and then plus the square root of 9, plus 9, minus 3 square root of 3. So it looks like that's going to be, this is actually just 3. So we got negative 6 square root of 3 plus 12, right? So that's our new numerator. Negative 6 square root of 3 plus 12. Now let's do the side work for our denominator, which was 3 plus root 3 times 3 minus root 3. That's going to give us 9 minus 3 square root of 3, and then we're going to have plus 3 square root of 3 minus the square root of 9. So the middle terms will cancel. We'll have 9 minus 3, which will give us 6. And then to finish off, all we got to do is divide everything by 6. So it's going to be negative square root of 3 plus 2 over 1, right? So there we go. We got our answer. All right? So a little bit more complex because you got to do a lot of common denominator work, and also that keep change flip comes into play. But other than that, it's the same process. Okay, so let's try one more and then we'll have you practice a little bit. Here we have the tangent of negative 7 pi over 12. So that's radians. So right off the bat, let's convert that guy by multiplying by 180 over pi, and we'll get it in degrees. Pi's will cancel, so I'm going to do negative 7 times 180 divided by 12. I got negative 105. Okay, so remember what we have to do here is we have to go ahead and think of two angles that'll either add or subtract to get us negative 105. The two that pop into my head are going to be if we had negative 60 and we took away 45 from it, right? So negative 60 minus 45. Okay, so there's our A and our B. And if you look at our reference sheet, we are able to go ahead and know that we're dealing with a situation like this. Tangent of A minus B is equal to all this stuff. So I'm going to just write all that out. So I got tangent of A minus tangent of B. So that's tangent of negative 60 minus the tangent of 45. All over, it's going to be 1 plus tangent of negative 60 times the tangent of 45. And put a little weird thing in there. You can ignore that. Okay, so remember, after this, I got to actually figure out what these values are on my unit circle. Tangent of 45, that one's easy. That's the one that's just 1. But the tangent of negative 60, we're going to go negative 60, so that's this direction here. And that's going to be 1 and negative root 3 are my sine and my cosine. So it's actually going to be negative square root of 3 over 1, or just negative square root of 3. So anywhere I see a tangent of negative 60, I'm going to do negative root 3. Anywhere I see a tangent of 45, I'm just going to do 1. And I got something like that. Right, so then I'm going to go ahead and make this a little prettier. It's going to be something like negative root 3 minus 1 over 1 minus root 3. Right, and once again, it's going to be tempting to go ahead and cancel this, but these guys are not the same, right? This has a negative 1, this has a positive 1. So instead, the way I'm going to deal with this is I'm going to go ahead and use my conjugate again. Multiply the top and the bottom by 1 plus root 3. The conjugate is just the same exact thing as our denominator, just its opposite sign. Okay? And then I'll do some side work for you just so you understand what's going on. For our numerator, we got to FOIL this guy right here, right? So that's going to be negative square root of 3 minus the square root of 9 minus 1 minus the square root of 3. So when I simplify this guy down, it looks like I'm going to have negative 2 square root of 3. That's those two guys combined. And this is going to be negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So my new numerator is negative 2 square root of 3 minus 4. And then let's do some side work on our denominator here. I'm going to do that right over here. That's 1 minus root 3 times 1 plus root 3. It's going to be 1 plus square root of 3 minus square root of 3 minus square root of 9. Middle terms cancel. I really just have 1 minus 3, right? Or negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide everything by negative 2 and get an answer of square root of 3 plus 2. So I divided everything by negative 2 to get that guy. Okay, so that was tangent when it comes to our sum and difference identities. So what I want you to do to practice on homework 4 are numbers 7 and 8. Okay, go ahead and get that done. Have fun.